there was never a question about quality or whatever. The boys have quality, but then you have to bring it together that it works as well. And especially in defending, it's like this. And Ozan and Nate do really well. Hopefully, it will stay like this. So it's they could play a lot of games. You said now 4 Premier League games. I think 4 Champions League games probably as well. So makes it 8 games. They probably played with each other. So that's really good. I can't say anything different. I'm really happy for them. Look, Ozan is a 20-year-old boy, came from Germany here to a big prospect, didn't have not lucky with the teams he was playing the last 2, let me say both. One went down and the other one will probably go down, but nobody in Liverpool really doubted his quality. But coming then, making this big step and winning again more games than before, it's really good for him that he can show that, and we were convinced, but in the end, never know, and he really proved that point. And Nate Phillips is just an exceptional career so far, with all the things he did in the past and what he thought about and where he were and all these kind of things. Now playing for Liverpool, Champions League, Premier League, winning games, winning challenges, probably best heading statistic in the history of the Premier League. I could imagine, at least. It's unbelievable what the boy is doing there. On top of that, playing good football and all this kind of, it's really nice. So obviously the start or the restart for one and the start of a proper career for both, that's really nice.
And as far as the game is concerned on Monday night, 2 teams in good form in the Premier League. You've both won your last 3 matches. I'm just wondering, as far as Leeds United's last match, that win at Manchester City, whether that changed anything maybe in the way that you or your team look or prepare for this one?
Did you watch the game?
I did.
So Man City played against 10 players of Leeds, so that's not exactly the way Leeds usually plays. So it was an early red card, but early 1-0 for Leeds, which was Leeds played an exceptional game from a passion point of view. But from all other points of views, like the tactical stuff and all these kind of things, there's not a lot to take from, apart from you see the character of the team. That's obviously exceptional. They never gave up. They fought as hard as they could. They worked their socks off. And they had still, with 10 men, only counter-attacks. A lot of teams don't have even counter-attacks against City with 11 men, but they had it with 10 and scored a late winner. So I saw the game as well, and it was really exciting to see what's possible in football, to be honest. And I think I said already to Ian before, so obviously I'm pretty sure Leeds was surprised as well when they had a red card. Nobody in the team, in the Leeds squad probably thought, okay, we are halfway through now, we will get the 3 points, but in the end they got it, and with the passion they showed, they deserved it, and that's really nice that that's something like this possible. But no, it doesn't change the preparation.
Thank you very much. 2 or 3 from Ian Bolt from Sky. You need to unmute yourself, Ian, so I put you on mute there. Thank you, Kravis. And then we've got Ian Kennedy from the BBC.
Well, listen, I better just check on the team news. Did everyone come through the match against Madrid okay? You don't have any new concerns ahead of this match?
No. Nothing. No. I only thought, because usually I always have some, but I don't think. Do I? No, nothing really.
No new ones.
No new ones. No new ones. Yeah.
Look, Joe Gomez posted some pictures of him during training. How pleased have you been with his progress? Is he still very much on track?
Yeah, they all are. Joe as well. Joe is outside running now, and all this kind of things. So it's obviously a big step. Always after all injuries, looks fine when he's running. No real reaction in the knee. These kind of things are very important. It still takes time, but he's on a good way. Like Wirtz and Joel and Hendo, and I think these are the long term, right?
Yeah. Well, listen, after what happened in the Champions League, have you had to, lift the mood a little? Are you confident that you will get the response that perhaps you need?
Look, there are obviously 2 things. We have to always in football important. So one's the performance, the other one is the other thing is the result. So let me say the last 3 Premier League games, obviously we won. one Champions League game we lost and one we drew. The one bad game we played in that spell was the Champions League game we lost. All the other games were okay or better. So that's what we have to keep doing. Play our best football. And still you have to accept then the result. So because you have to finish the situations off, what we didn't do in the second leg against Real Madrid, obviously, but that doesn't mean we will not do that forever again. That's a situation. Just go for it. It's not about having obviously a response or whatever. It's just go for it. Go and go and go. Play your best football. And then we have to, when you think about Leeds, it's like, oh my God, it's uncomfortable. You have to go do this, do this, do this. Exactly the same thing Leeds has to do when they think about us. Oh my God, how we defend that, and these kind of things. You cannot do more actually before a game. Any game, you have to cause the other team more problems than they cause you, and you have to use the situation you create more often than they do, and that's exactly the situation we are in. Yes, we are under pressure, like everybody can imagine, in a sense of we want to finish in the top four. But we don't know at the moment if we will. But we have 7 games to prove that point, and that's what we try.
Okay. Just before we go to Ian Kennedy, if the Sunday guys who are on could use the hands up mechanism, that would be great. And we'll go to a Sunday embargo next. But Ian Kennedy, which will conclude a couple of questions to conclude the open part of the press conference before the first embargo.
Hi, Jurgen. Just what you've alluded to there, really, 21 points still to play for, and it feels like, the top sort of 7-8 places haven't changed much in terms of the points gap. And having won your last 3 league games, do you feel at this stage of the season that you have found a bit of momentum now to take into those last 7 games?
Would be cool. So would be absolutely cool. We have to, but it's the thing is, you should not forget the opponent we always face. So, but now it's a situation. We won the last 3 games. That's why we are still around. That's why we are still in the fight for the Champions League spots. If we wouldn't have won, if we would have won only 1 and drew 2, it would look completely different. If we would have lost all 3, we don't have to talk and all these kind of things. So the way is clear. We have to win football games. And the best way would be win all the football games, but they are tough opponents, and we respect that. We really respect that, and we see the situation we are in, and we see it positive. To be honest, we see it positive. We are around. We have to win our games, to put pressure on other teams and stuff like this. That's all what we know, and that's what we try. But nothing else really. If we have the momentum, we will see on Monday night then. So it's a completely different game. Leeds is in the moment probably the most different game in the league, if you want. We can compare a few teams with each other. Some play this, some play that, and so on. But Leeds is really special. And so for that, we have to be ready.
Yeah, and Leeds actually have tightened up at the back as well recently, because for a lot of the season they've been so entertaining, a lot of goals in their games, but they're maybe a slightly different team at the moment, having tightened up a bit.
Yeah, maybe that's clear. They were never really that vulnerable. Like, and sometimes when you defend slightly higher than the man marking thing, then you can get tracked out. Stuff like this. That all happened. Probably it's still not the most experienced team in the world. They have a very experienced manager, but the team it's the first year for most of them playing in the Premier League. So all these things, it's completely normal that you have to go through such a process. And they did it now. But again, against City, they could have conceded because of a 10 men, 7, 8, 9. Another day City would have scored them, but they didn't. And they defended it really, really well, because they jumped in each shot, blocked each ball. It was exceptional. But in general, just to say, Leeds is a really good side, managed by one of the best. And yeah, that obviously helps. It's a good combination.
Yeah, and they've done really well since coming up from the Championship. Bamford obviously gets a lot of headlines with his goals. Rafinha looks a really good player.
Top player, Bamford. I can remember, pretty sure, before the season, I heard on TalkSport that people said, yeah, Leeds need a proper goal scorer, Bamford, not good enough, stuff like this. I'm so happy that you all could prove them wrong. He's an exceptional player and perfect. Like, the work rate is outstanding. And then still playing the football he played on top of that and scoring goals, that's rare. So they have a lot of interesting players, but Bamford, I'm really happy for him. Don't know him, obviously, but it's a nice career. A little bit later than others, but still very impressive.